Yeah, and welcome to the Papa Stash channel. So I'm going to take this time to answer a few questions that I've been getting fairly regularly. And if you guys have questions that you want to know about me or my gear or whatever, let me know in the comment section down below. But one of the most frequent questions or series of questions that I get is about my guitars. So start off with this one. This one's in most of the videos. This was a gift from my wife. She's freaking awesome. And it is, even though that it says Fender up here, it's actually a Bill Nash 60s Strat. And my friend Fred Taconic divided by 13, he's the one that actually put the Fender decal on there. Drove him crazy to see an empty headstock. So he's like, But anyways, the pickups, I get this question a lot too. They're Lowler S series pickups, and they're basically like 60s style pickups, Strat pickups with a little bit more output. They sound amazing. I freaking love them. And then I used to have the corresponding, bridge pickup single coil in there. But I'm a huge humbucker fanatic. My favorite band ever is Van Halen, and I just love the sound of a humbucker. And I've always liked the sound of this particular humbucker. And word has it, back in the day when DiMarzio was making pickups for Eddie, he basically boiled it down to this pickup and the one that became the pickup that was, I think, in the Music Man guitars. But this was the other one, and it's called a Tone Zone, and I think they're 75 or 79 bucks brand new, and they're freaking amazing. I love that pickup. So that's kind of the story with this one. I took this out because I always bump into the volume knob right here, and I just couldn't stand it anymore. And this volume knob is the only actual knob that works on this guitar. This one's just kind of a dummy knob. I just only use volume. I always only use my volume knob, and I don't care for the other knobs. So some people really like being able to roll off the high end of the humbuckers or any of the other pickups, but I'm pretty easy. So that is pretty much the story with this one. This guitar I love this thing. It sounds so good. It's another Nash guitar. Same story. It has the Nash, but obviously the Tele S series pickups. Same thing, based off of a 60s style. And his customer service is amazing. I had an issue with the neck on the first neck that I had, and it was a broken truss rod in it. And like a year later, I found out about it, and I wrote him a letter, and I'm like, hey man, I know that this may even be hard to believe, and I know that it's been a year, but the truss rod is broken in this neck. And not only did he send me a new neck, he sent me a hard shell case to go with it. And I was like, that is awesome. The guitar itself, kind of a cool story. I used to work at Divided by 13, and Fred, the owner, is like, hey man, we need a guitar for the shop. Go, I heard those Nashes are great. Go check them out, see what you think. So I went to this store. It's not in business anymore. It was a great store. It carried a bunch of Nashes, and I was playing, and I was like, oh, this thing's insane. So I went back, I told Fred, I'm like, dude, the guitar is amazing. You should check it out. And he's like, well, just go get it. We need a good guitar for back at the shop. So I went and got the guitar, and when I brought it back to him, he said, surprise, it's a gift for you. Here you go. And I was just freaking blown away, and I love everything about this thing. I record with it a bunch. A lot of the jam tracks, if you guys getting into the DVDs or some of the stuff that I've posted, and I'll leave a jam track down below, but some of the more recent stuff I posted, I record with this guitar a lot. This guitar and some of the amps, which I'll go into the next series on all about those, but it just has a great sound. Tele, if you don't have one, is kind of like that bridge between humbucker and Strat. And I love my Strat, and I just it's amazing, but I almost sometimes just prefer the sound of a Tele. And strangely enough, I use my Strat, which I love, but I really, just something special about this guitar. It's amazing. I love it. And if you guys out there are wondering about guitars, I definitely highly recommend you get a guitar. And those Lawler pickups, incredible. And I'm a huge DiMarzio fan too. I've played those pickups a lot too. So Those are always cheaper options to go. DiMarzio pickups. The Lullers are amazing, so check those out. And then the only other guitar I have in the shop and that I actually own that's mine, yet another gift. And this one's kind of like a 2-for-1 special gift. My buddy, who you might know, Marty Schwartz, and I were playing a gig together, and he was like, "Dude, you need an acoustic for this gig." And I'm like, "Dude, I don't have one." And he's like, "Really?" Like, "Yeah, I've just never gotten one or whatever." And he's like, "You need to get one." So I was like, "Okay." So I started looking around, and he so generously basically got me this acoustic, and it's amazing. I mean, the other person involved, my buddy Scott, who I've been friends with forever. I used to be in the Drake Bell band with him, and long story. He always gets amazing gear and sells it way cheaper than he should. This actually was his guitar, and when I was looking for the guitar that Marty wanted me to get, I actually had played this in a couple of my videos, and I asked my buddy Scott, I'm like, "Hey, is there any way you'd ever want to sell that guitar?" And the guitar is way more expensive than anything I'd ever be able to, purchase on my own or up to this point, And he's like, "Yeah, I'll sell it to you." And he basically sold it to me for like an unheard of low price. It was amazing. I couldn't even believe what was happening. But it must have been written in the stars, because here it is. And it is a Martin 0018 Golden Era, and it has this supposedly amazing LR Bragg's pickup system in it. I've never even plugged it in, so maybe if you know what they are out there, they're amazing, I hear. Never tried it myself, but anyways, that's kind of the gig with this thing. It's amazing, and it had a bunch of work done to it already with frets, and my buddy Mark, who's amazing out at Wild West, he did all the work on it, and it's incredible. I mean, I definitely... I love it. And, you've probably heard it. So it's a great, great, great guitar. And that's the guitars that I own. The other ones that you've seen me play, those are all borrowed friends. Have friends that have a lot of guitars. That's a perfect way to do it. But that's the story on all my guitars.